Thank you, Andre. Markus already shortly mentioned the Industrial Internet. I'm going to talk about how to improve the plant performance with Valmet Industrial Internet solutions. So, if you look at the power plant in general, how the profits are made, on the revenue side there is the electricity production and heat production typically. We have been talking about the heat today. It can be either process steam or district heating depending on the case. And the idea of the revenues is always to think how to maximize that side, how to meet the electricity and heat side with the demand. On the cost side, depending on what kind of plant we are talking about, there is typically the fuel costs related to emissions, additives, and also the maintenance cost on making sure that the plant is running all the time. It's a quite basic look at how the profitability works, but the main point from digitalization perspective is that it's running 24/7 at all times, and it's important that this picture is optimized at all time for that particular plant. So if you think about what it means in practice, for instance, how to make sure that the plant capacity right now is on an optimal level. I'm actually going to come back to that a little bit later. Another example is, are you using the plant's full potential in the electricity trading market side right now? Or do you know your upcoming risk for the production downtime? What is happening? What could be the next risk for the production? Similar to those also, for instance, knowing the fuel economy, is that on an optimal level? Or also the own electricity consumption, how is that going on? But at the end, the plant is operating about 500,000 minutes per year. So every minute counts. And optimizing this picture, that's the important part. Let's look at one case example. In this case, the basic target is that there is a limitation for the production of the plant, and target is to be as close as the limit level as possible. So that's the particular case in this example. And in this before and after picture, you can see that in the left-hand side, the plant was originally operating quite nicely. It's okay production, there is a modern DCS system, there is a modern boiler, but nevertheless, there is variance in the production. And when we put the optimizations in place, what you can see in the picture, we are able to reach higher mean steam flow after putting the optimizations. And if you think what it means on a yearly level, it was actually 2.5% increase in electricity production. And for this plant, it was really important because they had good feed-in tariffs for the electricity. So that's one case example. If you look at the value-adding achievements in general, what we have been able to achieve in the energy side for Industrial Internet, the first part I want to mention is the process analysis. Think about the starting where we're looking at the profitability and also looking at this use case. The main idea of the process analysis is understanding what is important for that plant, what are the key things that we should optimize, having the data, having our process expertise, and also analytics. And from that combination, we can then actually get the information on what is the actual improvement potential for this plant. That's what the process analysis is all about. Another achievement that we have seen is the faster response time. When we are collecting data, we have historical data coming from the particular plant. We have also data coming from similar other plants. We have recognized that we are actually able to troubleshoot about 3 times faster than without similar situation earlier. So that's very important for the plant operation. Another part is the analytical operator guidance. And there the idea is that when we are collecting a lot of data, we can actually get information on how it can be improved, how we can improve the current situation and how it has been earlier. And what that means in practice is that we can analyze the large processes in real time and see how they can be improved. We can also recognize threats, different kind of threats to availability by monitoring the process equipment, vibrations and controls. And also we can bring advisory tools for the operators, how they can improve their their plant. One really important part is also the performance optimization, and what this means is practice, that how we actually make locally the operation more automatic and make sure the optimization actually are implemented. With this we can achieve increased boiler load control in terms of range. So if it's important for the plant to be at the absolute maximum, or if it's important to be at the really minimum load, depending on the situations, we can do that kind of optimizations. We can also optimize the NOx emissions, look at improve the boiler efficiency, and optimize the actual energy network in terms of electricity, steam, and district heating. Currently, we have about 30 power plants under continuous data collection, and I'm next going to talk about a little bit opportunities that these are bringing to us. One important part is the predictive maintenance. As I said earlier, we are already currently able to recognize earlier what is happening at the plant, but now that we are collecting more and more data, we can actually get from recognizing to actually predicting issues to the availability. That comes from the large amounts of data. And of course, that leads to higher availability. Another area, we have been talking about this energy transition today quite a lot, and this is definitely one area that when we can bring all these different parties that are creating electricity and energy, we can actually optimize that part, minimizing the CO2 emissions also being an important player there. Enhanced life cycle services. If we think about what it has been earlier, we have always looked at one plant at a time. And now that we are collecting a lot of data to the same place, we can actually look at fleet of plants at once. And that's very important from the proactive monitoring perspective. We see that we can provide 24/7 process expertise support in the future, and we can tell our customers that similar types of plants have this kind of performance. We can find that this is something maybe you can improve as well in the future. That's something we are developing quite a lot right now, and I believe that that's a very important part in the future. Another aspect is the co-creating value via ecosystem. And there we see that it's important that we find complementary companies that can actually support us in helping customers, power plant customers, for operation and maintenance. So finding right kind of partners to work with, that's also one area that will definitely go forward as we proceed. To summarize, we have been successful in combining our process know-how, automation, and digitalization together into Valmet Industrial Internet offering, and I would say we have a very good setup in place to turn these opportunities into reality. Thank you.